Welcome, race fans, to the Bristol Motor Speedway, and for the first time, actually, on PSI TV, we get to cover some Bristol Motor Speedway action on the high banks, rather, of the Tennessee Mixing Bowl. And I got Brennan Elshoff alongside of me this time. Earlier on, it was the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series qualifying from Daytona. Now, Brennan, it's NMNTS PSI TV Super Series action. It's the iWRAPS Clash from Bristol, and this should be some pretty fun 75 laps of action. It's going to be a rather abbreviated pre-race, but we can take a quick look at our qualifying results. Brendan, I know you've had just as weird of a weekend as I have, but what are you expecting here tonight?
Well, high banks of Bristol like that's a fairly short track. I definitely expect I'd probably see a pretty tight pack of everybody around here. Just based off the qualifying, looks like we're about majority of the field's about 2/10 off from each other, so definitely should be some really good racing, and just about any short track puts that on for you.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And as these guys get ready to grid up on the speedway here, we'll mention this is my third race of the day, so if I make just any mistakes here, please do excuse me. This is pushing it as far as what I can do. 3 rather comprehensive races in one day is pushing the limit, but we're going to make it work here tonight. And hopefully it's the last time that I have to do 3 in one day. But Brennan, just a little while ago, we saw Jason Alexander take home the pole for the Daytona 250 in the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series, while Jackson Allen took home the outside pole, so they will be locked into the events at Daytona. And Jackson Allen is actually going to be starting on row number 1 here tonight in the same position that he will be starting in that truck race. So as we go through the starting grid, I'll take the top 10. Aiden Young and Jackson Allen will make up row number 1. In row number 2, we've got Derek Robinson, the 818, and Zach Lindgren out of Los Lunas, New Mexico. In row number 3, we've got Michael Redding out of Batesville, Arkansas, and Jason Alexander, your pole sitter for the Daytona 250 in the NMNTS Championship Series. In row number 4, we've got Clayton Kurtz out of LaSalle, Illinois, and Trevor Harmon in 8th. In row number 5, we've got 9th place Terry Mason and Gordon Larson Jr. in 10th.
Alrighty, and picking up in row 6 to the inside, we have Bradley Wilson with Kenny Yance to the outside. And row number 7 will be Christopher Matthews in the 92, and Daniel Hassar if he takes the grid here to his outside.
And then a couple of drivers who didn't put down a time, they may or may not be in the show, will be Mike Bruno and Mark Broderick, as well as Jerry Glenn, I think, will actually be racing, and Robbie Buckner, I know, has called it a night. But as these guys get ready to roll off here at Bristol, Brendan, this should be a heck of a lot of fun. What are you expecting out of these first few laps?
Hopefully, I think we'll see everybody just gonna get settled in. Usually with Bristol, it's up around the tops where it'll be quicker at. I'm not really too familiar with the super lates, but I know with like the trucks and that's usually where they like to sit at. So I think everyone will get kind of settled into a groove, and then that's when people start pushing. Obviously, in this league, we have to wait till lap 50 before we can take any tires at all here. So I wouldn't think that'd be too much of an issue here at Bristol. A little bit short of a track, but may see some people play it a little more conservative until that tire break.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, we're having a couple of power surges in my home right now in California. If we go dark for the night, that is why the light keeps going dim for a moment, then coming back on. So I do want to mention that real quick, but as these guys come around for their second of 2 pace laps, you can see the field roll on by. 14 cars, I believe, starting this event here tonight, so this should be a nice action-packed, I believe, 75-lap race, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Alrighty, so we did get that changed over, so 75 laps. The first segment, as Brendan mentioned, will be 50 laps. These drivers have to go the full first 50 laps on this set of tires before they can come in and pit. They only have the one chance to get some new tires, and as the pace car is about to come into the pit lane, Aiden Young is the one to start the race. Aiden Young has to wait for the green. Actually, Jackson Allen's going to get a bit of a jump there, but I believe that was still a legal restart. I believe he just went when iRacing told him to, and on the starts of these races, iRacing does control the start, so I think Jackson Allen actually made a completely legal start there, but he is going to get a huge jump already over Aiden Young.
It definitely, he's got him completely cleared here. He's already up on the high side where I think he's going to want to settle in at, so should be able to start pulling away.
And as the field comes through the tight, narrow half mile, world's fastest half mile, you can see these guys filing into the thin, I guess, concrete strip that makes up Bristol Motor Speedway. Obviously, there is pavement down lower, but that's the apron, and you don't really want to go down there. Doesn't really work out the best for you, but Jackson Allen currently is your leader by a few car lengths over Aiden Young right now. Do you think, I mean, obviously Aiden has been pretty strong so far in the offseason in the super late models. Do you think he'll get up there and challenge Jackson for the lead before the end of the first stage?
I think definitely he's got a chance with him. He's, as you mentioned, he's pretty good in these cars. Although we did do an off-season race in the trucks here, I believe, or some sort of car, and Jackson Allen won that thing hands down himself. So I think he's definitely one to contend with. He's there for a reason.
Yeah, definitely. Jackson Allen is one of the better drivers when it comes to hustling around the top
side. Oh, the
side.
77 around with the 51 involved.
Bradley Wilson, Kenny Yance in the back have an incident. They'll keep rolling, but Bradley Wilson has a blown motor. He'll have to escape, and no caution out just yet. Kenny Yance still parked on the inside of the track. I'm surprised there's not a caution out. Do you think there might have been a mistake as far as the setting up of the lobby? It's kind of bizarre for a car to be stopped that long with no caution. But we'll go back and watch what happens here with Kenny Yance. Looks like he got into the wall in turns, I'm not even sure, I think, yeah, 1 and 2. He made contact with the 92 for a moment, and then I think he's going to fall back into the clutches of Bradley Wilson, and we'll see what happens. Actually, he hits the wall and comes down into Bradley. And so just nowhere for Bradley Wilson to go. They stay green, though.
Yeah, I don't see anywhere about the cautions being off, so I don't... Maybe since he kept it down on the apron, but...
Well, back up to the front. Derek Robinson has now moved into the second spot. He has actually surpassed Aiden Young as he has fallen all the way to fourth. These cars are rather tight, so they have to be really careful with the throttle, especially on exit of the corner. You see Derek Robinson from second place get into the wall there. Now here comes Michael Redding around the top side. Michael Redding putting his name into the mix.
He's another one to look out for in these cars for sure. He's had a couple really great finishes for him.
Yeah, definitely. I think Michael Redding is one of the guys that you have to watch for at any short track in the NMNTS racing series, no matter what this series is. Obviously putting his name up front already, currently in the second spot. As Derek Robinson falling back, here comes Zach Lindgren around the top side.
Unfortunately, he's just stuck down there on the bottom, and there's just not enough momentum down there for him to keep up, so he's just have to shuffle his way back to the pack and come back up. Oh, he's going to make a move right there. Get in front of Clayton Kurtz. Back down to the bottom, though.
Yeah, and actually with that move, I want to mention drivers' patience will be tested here at Bristol very, very quickly, because one move can really upset a driver really early, and that can just spell trouble for the rest of the event. But currently, I think everyone's going to be pretty just settled in and not going to really mind what's going on so far. But Jackson Allen currently your leader by quite a bit, a second and a half over Michael Redding. Aiden Young now back into the third position as he tries to pursue the number 2 of Michael Redding. Zach Lindgren with some connection issues there, but he's getting it sorted out. He's currently in fourth with Clayton Kurtz in fifth in the number 8 car. Here comes Zach on the bottom side.
Gonna try. I don't think he'll quite have it, though. It's kind of hard on the bottom with your momentum. And he's already getting shuffled back a little bit. Clayton Kurtz not going to give him an opportunity on the high side there. He may get shuffled all the way back out.
Yeah, Zach Lindgren getting shuffled out of that position. He's now fallen all the way back into fifth, and quite a bit actually behind Clayton Kurtz. We're going to run through some of the field here. Terry Mason currently running in the 7th spot in the number 75 car. You can see some rear end damage to his car, some front end damage even, and some right side damage as he's gotten into the wall already. Trevor Harmon a little further back in 8th. You can see some damage to his car as well. Jason Alexander, your pole sitter for the Daytona 250 in the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series, currently in the Robot Chicken number 5 in 9th place. And Gordon Larson Jr. currently in 10th.
Oh, sure. 11th is Christopher Matthews, kind of off on his own here. 12th we have Jerry Glenn, not too far behind him. And 13th goes to Bradley Wilson. Unfortunately, had to pull it in pretty much right away off the start. And then Kenny Johnson, 14 as well. He's pulled it in. I think that's probably going to be both their nights.
Yeah, I don't think these guys have a reset, so Bradley Wilson in the pits waiting on repairs. I don't think he'll get back on the track tonight, but Michael Redding still in second place as they battle on. Aiden Young still trying to defend the 3rd position from Clayton Kurtz as he tries to put the pressure on Michael Redding. So, you know, everything happens so quickly at Bristol that you really have to be doing about 20 things at once to keep up. And, you know, it's hard for us as well as these drivers. And you can see just how quickly everything's happened. These guys are already on lap 25 almost, a third of the way through this event.
Definitely, and I think it may come down to who can keep their car the cleanest here. I see a lot of people running into the outer wall there. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, the car's just a little bit too tight for them.
Yeah, I mean, this car is really, really tight, and I think that's why these guys are pushing so far up. I think this is a setup that was made by iRacing for the daytime. I think that's playing into the tightness in these cars. Clayton Kurtz in the wall now, but if you're dealing with Clayton Kurtz did right there, actually, you can use a bit of a bump to the wall to your advantage. Considering this is a simulator, you can kind of exploit that. If you get into the wall, sometimes it's not going to hurt you too much, and you can just use it to kind of keep your momentum up through the corner. Obviously, you don't want to do it intentionally for fear of breaking your car, but you can try and exploit any mistakes you make and try and make the most of it, and you saw that from Clayton Kurtz just a moment ago.
75 at Terry Mason really struggling the last 2 corners. He's hit it twice there. He's really, I think, with the damage, it's really hard for him to control right now.
Yeah, I think he could be trying to use that exploit as well. He's really diving it into the corner and kind of pushing up, using that little cushion of air, and maybe using that a little too much, pushing the right front into the fence. You see him do it again there, but I think he's hitting it so hard that eventually it's going to break the right front of the car, and I don't think it's going to work too much. It's something you can try. It's a simulator, of course. This is not real-life racing, so, you know, whatever goes. If the race admins are allowing it, the race admins are allowing it, and that's fine with us. You know, it just gives an extra, I guess, you know, element, I guess, of the race. So I personally have no problem with it if the admins are fine with it themselves, and that's fine by me.
Up ahead, Aiden Young to the bottom side there. He tried to make a move, I think. Not going to work out for him. As we've seen so far, everybody tries to go down low. Unfortunately, you're just getting shuffled out.
Yeah, and he's falling back. He's trying to pinch the 85 of Zach Lindgren up towards the wall. It actually works out for him. Zach backed out of the situation. Didn't want to tear either one of those cars up. Now here comes Zach to the bottom side trying to make a move into turns 3 and 4. He almost has him cleared. I think he does. He's going to try and move up out of turn 4. He makes the pass. A great slide job of sorts from Zach Lindgren on pavement.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the first time we've seen anything on the bottom actually work there. I don't know if Aiden had to back out of it maybe to keep from getting into the wall or what there, but he's right on Clayton Kurtz's tail right now.
Oh, and the bumper given. Zach is definitely using his teammate Clayton Kurtz up, and he's trying to come to the 3rd position. A door down the back straightaway. These guys are getting into each other. They're using every bit of their cars up. Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch pretty much between these guys. So, Brennan, I know you missed the super late model race this morning at Concord, but Zach actually commentated that with me. Oh, and he's going to get into Clayton Kurtz again. Is Clayton going to save that? Wow! Oh, he's coming back up.
Oh, he almost had to go in the 75 into the back of the 9 a little bit there. Fortunately, Clayton's going to get spun around there. Still no caution. I don't know if maybe they're not turned on.
Well, they'll keep going. Clayton with a lot of damage. He's going to end up coming through the pit lane. Actually, he's going to go back onto the track. So he's got a lot of damage. You can see him trying to get back up to speed. We'll get a replay on that from a lap ago. You saw the 85 just gave the bumper to Clayton Kurtz, his teammate in the 8 car, and that was really kind of bizarre to see between those two. But you see, what a drive by Clayton Kurtz to hang on to that car for so long. Then he started to lose it, came back up into the 9 of Aiden Young. Terry got into the 9 of Aiden Young. He got back into the 8 of Clayton Kurtz. He was on the bottom side, and I can understand no caution there. That was definitely on the very bottom of the apron. Unfortunately, that will really hurt Clayton Kurtz, as I believe he's definitely over a lap down, and he's third in line to get that lucky dog. But that put Zach Lindgren actually into the second spot. I believe he was able to get up to Michael Redding and drive by him. Zach now using the bottom side to his advantage, somewhere that we haven't seen these guys go yet tonight, Brennan.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, everybody who had tried it, unfortunately, they were just getting shuffled back out of line. I think he's finally found something. Maybe, looks like maybe he drives it down through the middle and just kind of floats it back up a little bit to help with his exit speed there. But I think that's what was killing everybody earlier.
Yeah, I think he's just found a way to use this place to his advantage. He did pick up a win here at Bristol Motor Speedway in the NMNTS Motor Sims Grand National Series in 2017, so that could be playing into this race right here. He's got the experience of winning an event here at Bristol in his past, and I think this setup is relatively similar to how it was at the end of that season when he got that win. It's relatively, actually you see him blinking there, some loud noises, apologies for that, viewers, but you know, it's relatively ground in the track. I think it's tighter than what that race was like, but caution is out, and I don't think that one was for the stage break.
No, that one was not. On the backstretch, there's someone getting turned back around.
Looks like it may have been Jerry Glenn, and yeah, Michael Redding was the other one I was going to bring up. He's got a lot of damage to that number 2 iWRAPS machine. He was actually in the air at one point. We'll go back and watch this replay. So folks, watch this number 2 center of your screen.
Oh, the 818 got into the back one.
So Derek Robinson and the Mountain Dew Do Shine machine actually, yeah, gets into him as Michael hit the wall a little bit in turn 2. He comes back up, and I think he's going to get hit by Jason Alexander, his teammate, so a bunch of damage to his car now as well. And I think that was actually the only damage added to the number 2 from that incident, as you see the leaders come into picture there. Jackson Allen misses it. Jackson Allen, your leader, cannot come into the pit lane yet, but he is actually. They may be using this as the stage break, but he can't get tires yet.
Yeah, the rule's not till lap 50, so unless an exemption was made or something like that, we'll see what happens here, though.
Well, he hasn't really run any late model races thus far, and you see the jack going up. Yep. That, unfortunately, I think that's going to be a park for the number 13 driver. I think that's just him not having been here yet this season. But you see the 85 now in the pits as well. We'll see if the jack goes up on his car as well. So I think either the tire rule may have been waived, or these guys are just being allowed to come in and get the tires now, assuming this will run through where they would be throwing the caution anyways. And I think that's actually the deal, considering this caution will probably take 5 laps, and we were at about 5 laps to go until the stage break.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I tried to switch back over to the All Teams channel there so I could see if anything exemption-wise is made, but if it was, I think I already missed it.
Well, currently it looks like Aiden Young will assume the lead. Brody Wilhelm saying, Giro Cedar for the win. Well, Brody, I am not in the race. I don't know if you didn't notice, but I am sitting right here at my computer commentating. But, yeah, so let's see how this will pan out further back. It looks like Zach Lindgren will assume the second place position, while Terry Mason will move into 4th, and Terry Mason's Riot Motorsports teammate Trevor Harmon will move into 5th out of Fort Mojave, Arizona. Derek Robinson, who we just saw get into the number 2 of Michael Redding, now moves into 6th, and Brennan, I'll give you the rest of the field.
Alrighty, so in 7th we have Jason Alexander, followed by Michael Redding in the 8th position, excuse me, and Jerry Glenn in 9th. He's the last one on the lead lap at the moment. 10th going to Christopher Matthews. 11th going to Clayton Kurtz. He went 2 laps down, unfortunately, when he got spun around there. And then Gordon Larson Jr. in 12th is also 2 laps down. They're the last ones actually still on the racetrack at the moment. As we mentioned earlier, we have Bradley Wilson 13th and Kenny Younts at 14th with they're both their nights being done already, unfortunately.
And as we come to the green flag, Aiden Young is your leader, just in front of Zach Lindgren and to the inside of Jackson Allen. This time, Aiden uses his leader abilities to restart whenever he wants to his advantage. He's going to get the jump on Jackson Allen. Now move up to the top side. He can't clear Jackson, though. Jackson loose out of the corner. So Jackson's going to fall back into the second position, and caution's back out. That time, the 818 went around. We'll see what happens here. He was in front of Michael Redding. I don't want to speculate too much, but we'll see what happens out of turn 2. And actually, no, he just gets loose, just like Jackson Allen did. He's going to come back across the track. And he just spins it out, keeps going. Very anticlimactic. He's going to get back going. Cannot get tires. None of these guys can pit for tires again throughout the race. So these guys are on the tires that they'll have to the end of the race. That is one of the rules in the Super Series, that you get the one set of tires at the halfway break. You can choose whatever you want to do with them. You can come in and get no tires, just left side tires, or just right side tires, or 4 tires, which I'd assume most of these guys did. But you have to keep in mind on a lot of these short tracks across America that we'll be going to, the pace car can easily come back around under caution and lap you, Brennan.
Yeah, definitely, and this is probably one of the I guess I'll take that back. I'd say there's a couple tracks that are shorter than this, but Bristol is definitely one, especially on the NASCAR circuit, where it'll come around and catch you real quick.
Yeah, definitely. The cautions here move super quickly. 5 laps is not much to work with when you're going around a half-mile high-banked oval, and the pace car is doing, 45 miles an hour or so. It's not a whole lot to work with for pit stops, replays, anything. So, we won't even be getting any driver interviews just for fear of running too long. We'll wait until after the race to get an interview with the top 3, so make sure you stay tuned after the event for that. We'll be restarting with about 20 laps to go here, though, Brennan. How do you picture this one playing out to the end?
Well, everybody just got their tires there, so I think we'll see them start to push here. It's what I called beginning of the race. I thought that they would maybe try and conserve for the 50 laps and then really push for whatever they can get out of the last 25 or so. This time to the line we have 26 left, I believe. So pretty much winding down to the latter stage of the race, about a third of it left. So I think everybody, this is where they'll start to make their moves and maybe play it a little more riskier to try and go forward.
The lights are still on the pace car. These guys now have 21 laps to go. When these guys restart, they should have 19 to go. They'll come back around this time. They should get the 1 to green signal and have 22, and they come back around, restart with 19 laps left in the bank. Brendan, ultimate question, who do you think wins this thing out of the top 4 or 5?
Honestly, teammate of ours, both of ours, I think I got to root for Jackson Allen. He really put on a dominating show at the beginning. As long as he can get around Aiden Young, I believe he's really going to be the one to beat here.
Yeah, I think Aiden Young, Jackson Allen will be 2 of the bigger names in this series throughout 2018. I know Jackson Allen will be on a very partial schedule, but he was able to come out and race tonight. So pretty cool to have him here in the Dirt on Dirt sponsor number 13. But Aiden Young, I think, will be one of the favorites for the championship in this series overall. And as they come around turns 3 and 4, possibly for the final time under caution, I'll give you the call on the restart.
Alrighty. Coming through here towards the middle of 3 and 4. Lights on the pace car are out. It's getting ready to dive in the pit lane. Aiden right away on the loud pedal here. Jackson with a great start as well, though. He's going to keep the high side in. He pulled a little bit ahead, but Aiden's going to have the momentum going into the corner. Actually going to clear him completely. I wonder if Jackson had to back out a little bit there.
But here comes Jackson on the bottom side. He used that momentum out of turn 2 to get down there, Brennan, but can't make it work.
Not quite. I think he'll just be happy sticking up to the high side, catch back up to him, and maybe trying the move here again. He's a little bit too far back to try and push for it again.
Yeah, he's a little too far back. Actually, they both nail the wall in turn 4.
27 on its roof. 85.
And a big wreck further back. You see Trevor Harmon sliding down the banking on his door, but he'll flip back over thanks to the apron and the difference in banking, so he'll continue on, even though he was just upside down, quite literally. So I don't know what just happened, but we'll get a quick replay. So as we're watching here, through turns 3 and 4, everything looked good, but I think these guys will have the incident, coming out of turn 4 in just a moment, entering 3 here. Watch the 85 and the 27 center of your screen. And, yeah, they just kind of both washed up. You saw Zach get into the wall, and Trevor just washed all the way up into Zach Lindgren. Those guys are affiliated teammates, so kind of surprising to see that, but definitely not intentional. And those guys will get back going, especially Trevor Harmon. Good to see him back rolling and off and away.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those, as the simulation, you can keep going. I don't think he actually ended up on your roof here. You'd be able to continue that race. So lucky to see for him.
But he is going to have to let the pace car back by him. I think that's why he's parked on the track right now. I think he initially went by the pace car, but was informed by race control that he has to let the pace car back by, as he was getting back up to speed when the pace car had already passed him. So iRacing is going to hold him there, then give him the wave around with the 1 to green signal. Real quick, though, let's try and bring a driver up for a quick interview. That's going to be Jackson Allen. And Brendan, I'll let you take this one.
Alrighty, let me get back over there. Jackson's Brendan up here in the PSI booth. You got a copy with us?
Yeah, 10-4.
Pretty good performance so far for you, I'd have to say. You held the lead on there all the way up to about the lap 43 part, right in there when you came to get your pit stop. How's the car feeling for you tonight?
Well, this is the first time I've ever had a car feel loose on the exit of Bristol. Normally they tighten up as the race goes, so that's something I think we're all battling here.
Yeah, definitely. So far, I think you've kind of been the car to beat. Aiden Young getting through the pit cycles there. We saw you make a pretty bold move to try and get past him. Didn't quite make it work. You think you're going to be able to get around him before the race is over?
It's probably going to take that 9 car making a mistake to get around him. He's got the advantage of the launch on the restart, and you get up on that high line, man, and there's just nothing to do. I tried the inside there, but it's just there's not enough grip down there to make a pass. I don't believe. I might give it a shot here again if the opportunity presents itself, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, alrighty. Well, I think we'll have to make this one a little bit short. I think we're getting ready to come to 1 to green here, so we'll go ahead and get you moved back down.
10-4, thank you, sir.
And again, that was Jackson Allen, currently running in the 2nd position from the Daniels Cardinale Incorporated stable. Good to see him out here tonight and racing with the NMNTS PSI TV Super Series. And we're proud to be a partner of the NMNTS. And the title name of this series really does give us quite a bit of good feelings getting to be the face of this series. So we are quite honored as these guys get ready to restart with 11 laps to go. Brendan, Aiden Young, Jackson Allen been the story of the race. They're right next to each other again, coming through turns 3 and 4 for the restart, and it is your call.
Alrighty. On the pace car here to dive in, where you go through middle of 3 and 4. Does so now, and Aiden Young right away on it. Another decent start for Jackson Allen. He's going to keep him at least to his door. It has the advantage again on the high side, but I think the momentum's just there for the bottom. Aiden Young is going to clear him. Just barely, though.
Oh, but he gave him a shot into turn 3. He definitely let Aiden know that he was there. He's going to try and work the top side. Aiden left the door open for a half a second, closed it right away, and now it's back to Jackson Allen trying to pursue that number 9 and try to wait for an opening to come up. I don't know if he's going to find it, though. It's going to be really hard to find an opening on the outside of that number 9 car. Aiden has that top side on lock, but yeah, here comes the 75 of Terry Mason, the Riot Motorsports driver.
He's electing to go a little bit lower than Aiden and Jackson are, and it's helping him with his drive into the corner. He's coming off a little bit quicker than they are. So he is Jackson Allen a little bit up into the wall. He's going to be almost right by his door here on exit. Oh.
Well, he just tagged him, but here comes Jackson Allen taking advantage of that. He's going to pull a slider into turns 1 and 2. Can't make it work just yet, but he's now proving... Yeah, actually, here comes Zach. I didn't even notice that, but he's now proving that he can try and do something on the bottom side. Zach Lindgren is going to try and get his nose in there for 2nd place, though.
This is shaping up really quickly here.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys are coming to 6 laps to go, Brendan, and these guys are just all over each other. Here comes another slider from Jackson Allen. He puts Aiden in the wall. Contact, actually a huge net code from the 85 to the 9. Aiden Young spinning in the back, I think, but he'll, I guess, have to get it back going or something. No caution out.
was a huge net code there. At least on my screen, Zach was nowhere near him.
Yeah, definitely. It was one of the biggest pieces of netcode I've ever seen, and sometimes that happens when you've got a driver like Zach Lindgren with a halfway unstable connection. It happens from time to time. Unfortunately, it happened right there. It's going to mess with the end of this race, but if Zach can actually get up to the 13, actually, Aiden Young slow on the racetrack. I'm not sure what he's doing.
Damage there.
Yeah, he just might. Yeah, he's definitely dog walking. But back up to the front, these guys are still battling. They're leaving Terry Mason in their dust right now. The 85, Zach Lindgren, and the 13, Jackson Allen. One of the two of the biggest names in the NMNTS when it comes to Bristol. Two really big winners here. I know Jackson won the truck race at one point last season, and Zach won the Xfinity race. So these guys are a couple of past winners in the NMNTS here at this racetrack, going head-to-head right now.
Definitely, Zach is right there. I think if he's gonna wait maybe a lap, or actually he's got to make the move coming into this corner here, or the next lap here. He doesn't have very much time left, but he's right there to make the move.
Yeah, he's got to try and pull something, but he's fallen so far back that it's going to be hard for him to do anything now as the white flag is out. Jackson Allen has just a quarter mile left to go, and he gets to win this iWRAPS clash. Here comes Zach on the bottom. He's not going to have enough. Jackson Allen going to walk away with the iWRAPS clash at Bristol here in the PSI TV Super Series, and what a race that was, Brennan.
Yeah, definitely. Was not quite expecting 4 cars with real good contention right there for the win. I think if Aiden unfortunately didn't have that net code, and Terry, I think, may have had something left in the tanks if he hadn't done so much damage earlier, but that definitely could have been a four wide finish there.
Yeah, it definitely could have rather easily, but Jackson Allen will walk away. And, you know, it's kind of only fitting. He went and put himself on the outside pole just a little while ago for the Daytona 250 in the NMNTS SimSpec Truck Series, and kind of fitting now, actually, as he drifts the car up into the outside wall, that he ends up winning this thing tonight. A really dominant performance all around tonight for that DCI driver. And as we grab him for an interview, we'll also get, of course, Zach Lindgren and Terry Mason. Yeah, this will be interesting. I'll give you Terry Mason as I bring him up into the interview booth.
Alrighty.
With Jackson. Oh, never mind.
Hey Terry, this is Brennan up here in the PSI booth. You got a copy with us?
Got a copy, bud. How you doing?
Not too bad tonight. Some interesting moves for you there. We saw mid-race. You're quite literally slamming the car up in the wall to help it turn some.
Yeah.
It got you to 3rd place, though. How you feel about that tonight?
Well, considering I kind of went into this practice a little slow, I'm very surprised we came in 3rd place tonight.
It definitely was the I guess I should ask next, was the wall really helping you that much there, you think? Slamming the car in there, it didn't damage it too much or anything there?
Oh no, we need a whole new right side. We're just gonna cut the body off and hang a new one on it for next week.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we saw there towards the end, it was the 4 of you there, Jackson Allen, Zach Lindgren, Aiden Young was in there, and then you were right there with them too. You think you had any contention there, or what happened there with you when you started falling off?
Well, I remember I was catching up with those guys, and I was coming out of 4 a little tight, and I knew if I didn't let off, I was just going to create one heck of a wreck. So I just stayed off the throttle, and I lost a lot of speed. That's when Zach was able to pass me, and I figured, well, I already lost my momentum, so I want to ride behind everyone and see if they wreck each other out.
Yeah, and luckily for you and unfortunate for Aiden, there's some big time net code with him, and Zach is going to put him down 3 laps. So you, as we mentioned, you're going to come home in 3rd tonight. So overall, it says pretty good performance for you, especially not being so confident. You have any sponsors, anything you'd like to shout out?
Oh yeah, I mean, we don't have it on the car yet, but definitely want to give a shout out to project9line.org, and right now in the car you have most famous short track in the world, Hickory Motor Speedway. So going to throw props out to those guys.
Alrighty, well, I think we'll get you moved back down. Congrats on 3rd place tonight.
Thanks, sir.
And that was Terry Mason, the 3rd place finisher tonight from Riot Motorsports. And we'll bring up Zach Lindgren in just a moment. We're watching the replay of the big move of the race, really, for Jackson Allen and Zach Lindgren to get into the top 2. And we'll bring him up now. So Zach Lindgren, this is Andrew in the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, Zach, that was one heck of a drive for you and teammate, or affiliated teammate, Terry Mason, and even affiliated teammate Jackson Allen through DCI. You guys take home the top 3. Walk us through those last few laps, though, especially with that huge netcode to Aiden Young.
Well, me and Jackson were just talking about that down in the lobby down below. Apparently I got into Aiden. Well, that first one, from what I saw, there was contact between Jackson and Aiden. Jackson trying to go for the lead, and he tried to pull a slider going up to the high side, and I tried to go low, and I don't really know about the net code between me and Aiden. My internet was just all over the place tonight. I don't know what was going on with it, but I mean, I got to apologize to the guys that I got into about my internet. But I haven't really gotten to take a look at it yet. I've just been kind of sitting here trying to cool off from that race. But if I did get into Aiden out of netcode, I do apologize to him.
Yeah, I think once Jackson made some contact with him there, it slowed Aiden down enough, and then the sim was just picking you up on his end as really dooring him in turn 4. And obviously, it was no fault of yours, but definitely some contact made, and that hurt him a little bit. But again, no fault of yours. It was just the sim being a little bit weird. But a great drive for that number 85 Bob Small Engine Repair Ford Mustang. I know you're going to be in the booth with us for a lot of 2018 in this series, but a great run tonight. Who do you have to thank for it?
I just got to thank everybody who helps put a paint on my car. PSI TV, Wall Crusher Designs, everyone that helps color this car, make it look nice for race day. First off, I got to apologize to Clayton. I honestly did not mean to get into him. That one time that I did, I believe it was about lap 30 or 40. I just completely overdrove it. I was trying to brake as much as I could, and I don't really know the size of the front bumpers on these things, and I guess I got under him going into 3 and 4 it was. So I got to apologize to him, everyone that works on that car, everyone who puts their name on that car. I got to apologize, but we had a good run tonight. I don't really feel like I should have deserved second. We had some good speed behind the car. If I would have raced cleaner, I think I would have felt like I deserved second, but tonight I don't know what was up. It was just really short track racing with these cars, and my internet wasn't the best, so I guess I was seeing people where they actually were. And I apologize for getting into Trevor. That one incident that we had. It was just a very off night, but everyone, the men and women overseas that are protecting this great country, allowing me to do this. My WFO teammates, my affiliated teammates at Riot and DCI for pretty much helping me with doing everything that I can. And for as of right now, that's all I've got.
Sounds good, man. Well, pretty good showing overall. Second place in this iWRAPS clash, and third place earlier on in qualifying for the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series Daytona 250. So a great night for you out of Los Lunas, New Mexico. We'll get to talk to you more tomorrow night, I'd imagine. So best of luck tomorrow night in the duels.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Again, that was Zach Lindgren out of the number 85 out of Los Lunas, New Mexico. A great run for him overall. Started 4th, finished 2nd, and that's not even to mention what he did earlier in qualifying. But now we get to bring up race winner Jackson Allen, and Brendan, I'll let it be your honors.
Alrighty. Alrighty, Jackson. Well, we get to talk with you again tonight. Coming home with the win. How's that feel for you?
Oh, that was pretty good. I feel sorry for Aiden there. That's not a move I would ever make in a points-paying race, but since this one was more or less for bragging rights, I figure why not? Might as well take the bragging rights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Unfortunately, as you mentioned for Aiden, and a bit of net code there, unfortunately sent him towards the back. Other than that, though, how'd you feel about the race tonight?
Yeah, well, we were the fastest in practice, so I knew going into it that if everything just settled down, I'd probably be able to put a good run together. And I've always been good here at Bristol, especially on the longer runs, and especially after 15 laps there, I really started gapping the rest of the field, which is what I had hoped was going to happen. So the car felt great. Again, that was the first time I've ever experienced a car getting loose. Normally they get tight, and that was a little bit challenging because I almost wrecked it 3 or 4 times coming off of the corners there. It was a little bit on edge.
Yeah, we definitely caught the one off the the restart after you got the fresh tires there, you definitely about lost it there. But overall, besides that, I definitely think there's quite a show you put on tonight. Can't really go wrong with a first place finish. That's got to feel good, and outside on the pole in the Daytona 250. So you kind of been having a night tonight.
Yeah, things are. The luck seems to be turning our way. We got taken out in the first lap of the Clash, um, or the race that we had for the trucks last week, which was a bummer. And the off season hasn't been the greatest. So I'm glad things are kind of starting to lean our way here at the start of the season here.
Yeah, definitely you picked the right time to have some good luck here. So hopefully the rest of the season, what limited runs you do here in the super lights and definitely in the trucks, we can see you have a good performance. You have give you an opportunity here. You want any sponsors to shout out or anybody helps put on the show for you?
Absolutely, we got to give a big shout out to dirtondirt.com for being on the hood of the car today. The Hub Sim Racing giveaways over on Facebook. Go check them out. Win you some cool stuff. Big Apple Buddy. Go check them out if you're outside of the country. Big shout out to PSI TV. You guys are doing a wonderful job. The viewership's just climbing and climbing, so that's cool to go back and watch afterwards. And big shout out to the team, Daniels Cardinale Inc. for bringing me on board and let me be a driver of the car this season. Hopefully, we put some more good runs together like we had tonight and in the qualifying run.
Yeah, definitely, Andrew. You have anything you'd like to say?
Oh, definitely, man. Jackson, was a lot of fun to watch from the start. Really, it was a thrilling night. You got to the lead real quick ahead of Aiden Young there, and held on to it for a bunch of laps. Ended up leading 54 laps before the night was over. Great run for you, and this only spells better things in the future for DCI. And man, I like where we're starting off so far as kind of partnering alongside of Robbie and Ryan as, I guess, the executives over there, if you will. So it's going to be a lot of fun, in my opinion, going into this season, even from the broadcasting seat. I'm really looking forward to what we can do as a team.
Thank you, sir.
But yeah, other than that, congratulations on the win right there, Jackson. Hopefully we get to see you in a couple more races and maybe even help out and lend your voice a time or two up in the booth. But we'll let you go and get ready for tomorrow night's duels from Daytona. And yeah, once more, congratulations on that big win right there.
10-4, thank you.
And again, that was Jackson Allen, your race winner from Bristol, Tennessee. And Brendan, wow, that was a really quick and a really action-packed 75 laps. A really clean race, actually, for Bristol with these super late models, especially when there's nothing really barring these guys from just going all out. And we saw exactly that. It was just all-out racing. And it was really a lot of fun to watch. What are your closing thoughts here tonight?
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. I thought it was a pretty good performance out there tonight. Real quick one, which is always easier for us and action packed, especially towards the end there, as we saw coming down to it. We had really 4 cars that had a decent contention, I think, with it, and I think this only spells more good, clean racing coming on for the rest of the Super Late Series through the NMNTS. So I definitely think this is a great precursor to the whole season. I think this is a great performance overall to show what's to come.
Yeah, for sure. And real quick, before we close the show down, I want to go through our race results. I'll take the first half of the competition through 7th place. That's going to be Jackson Allen in first, Zach Lindgren second, Terry Mason in third, and that's the WFO Riot and DCI Sweep taking over here tonight. I know there's some friendly rivalries between WFO and that alliance and Evil Outlaws and that whole deal. So a little bit of bragging rights for WFO, DCI, and Riot in general going into Five Flags, which will be the first race of the Super Series. We may try and contract Max Speed TV to try and broadcast that race. We will do our best to get it on air If not, we will be back for the second race, I believe, from New Smyrna on February 25th. Michael Redding, actually representing Evil Outlaw Racing, comes home in 4th place, so he wasn't too far behind in this whole rivalry deal, so he definitely gets his foot in the door as well. Derek Robinson in 5th from HRL Motorsports. Jerry Glenn, a newcomer, in 6th. Jason Alexander from Gunslinger Motorsports in 7th, Brennan.
And coming home in 8th tonight will be Trevor Harmon, the 27. Good to see for him. As we mentioned, at one point in time, he was on his roof there, so I don't think you can beat an 8th place for coming from that. Christopher Matthews coming home 9th tonight. Gordon Larson Jr. is going to finish a lap down in 10th. Clayton Kurtz 2 laps down on 11th. Both going to Aiden Young tonight, as we saw that bit of net code there, unfortunately put him back down 3 laps. And then Bradley Wilson 69 laps down to 13th, and Kenny Yance 70 laps down to 14th. They had that pretty early incident there that ended their nights, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, they were out of this race early. We saw Daniel Hosser, Mike Bruno, Mark Broderick, and Robbie connect. Robbie went to bed early. He had enough for the night. He was just getting tired and had to get to bed for work. I'm not sure about Daniel Hosser, Mike Bruno, or Mark Broderick, but those 3 did connect at one point tonight. Unfortunately, did not show up for the race. But that has been NMNTS Super Series coverage from Bristol Motor Speedway. Brennan, it's been an honor alongside you tonight. Thanks for coming up and helping me out. It's been an honor also broadcasting for Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook through PSI TV. It's really cool to be able to broadcast 3 different platforms at once. So, other than that, though, this has been PSI TV, and that should not be coming up in the middle of the screen. Apologies for that. Yeah, definitely tune in tomorrow night for some more NMNTS action. This time it will be from Daytona International Speedway, just like earlier in the Truck Series, but we'll have the Daytona Duels on hand for you, Duels 1 and 2. And after that, we'll be going to, let's see, I think we'll be away from broadcasting for a bit, actually. So, yeah, I think that'll pretty much conclude our week, actually. I'll be in Daytona on a much-needed vacation. That's about it. Thank you for tuning in to PSI TV. We will see you next time.